Hey y'all, welcome to the Medicinal Melange podcast. I'm Elizabeth, a clinical herbalist, medical astrologer, and the friend that won't let you gaslight yourself out of your own brilliance. This is where we take the guesswork out of your wellness journey and take back your autonomy in healing your body, aligning with your chart, and shedding light on your highest self's actual timeline, not the one capitalism tries to rush you through. If you're into no BS astrology, radical self honesty, and levels of devotion to yourself you were told were too much, you're in the right place. So, how is everyone's aura doing this week? I hope you are feeling abundant. I hope that you feel like you are ready to receive. I know a lot of you have been asking me to re release the receiving frequency, which I definitely will get into today. But when we're thinking about astrology of the last week or so and going into next week, I do want to call out the fact that Venus transited into or ingressed into Libra. And I'm super excited because this is my second house. And while this was happening, Pluto also went direct. And you know what? That's my sixth house, my everyday, my how I show up as a worker. And honestly, ever since I've been trying to manifest this new car, my current car was acting a little shady. All of a sudden, it started to make noises it had never made before. But of course, it was right after I went to go browse cars and be open to the idea of a new car. I wanted to kind of treat myself because I knew how much I drive because I do readings in California. I loved my time in New Orleans last time, so I hope to get back out there again soon. But I want to take this to the East Coast. I want to enjoy time with my family as I road trip and get to read for different people all across the US. And so I wanted a little bit of luxury. My Venus was feeling good, that's for sure. I mean, my Venus in Virgo natally does not ever feel good. I'm at 0 degrees in Virgo. Yeah, it's rough. It's not my favorite position of my chart, okay? But Venus, that's for everybody that's transiting, moved into my second house. So my hands were wide open. I had been working on my receiving frequency and I was like, gimme, gimme, gimme. Over the last month, I've been auditioning cars, seeing which ones I love, seeing which ones I can fit in. We talked about that in previous episodes. I don't always fit in every car. And yeah, I landed on a car that was off of my radar, but quickly became on my radar. And I was like, nope, that's it. That's the one. And I wanted to sit with it a little bit. So I told the car salesman, like, hey, I'll be back in a week or two to get this. And he was like, oh no, I have somebody coming to take a look at it on Monday. And this was like a Thursday or Friday. And I was like, okay, it'll be here. I told him, well, you won't sell that one because I've already decided that's mine. And I went in over a week later and just bought it. And I'm very excited. I know my Capricorn moon kind of gave a monotone voice, but I am super stoked. I'm buzzing on the inside. It is my first hybrid vehicle. So that is a little bit of a learning curve mentally. It's got so many cameras, but it makes me feel great knowing that when I'm traveling cross country that I am safe and secure and that my family as we're traveling together is. So in my day-to-day rhythm, my sixth house of Aquarius, which we're going to talk about today, Pluto went direct. So it was like, no, we can't have a car that is very reliable, but recently less reliable, less comfortable, more gas, all of these things that are equating into the factor of how I show up as a worker and in my day-to-day rhythm for Aquarius 6th house. Now, going back to Venus, moving into Libra, this is my second house of my ability to receive, yes, but directly of my finances. And Venus loves being in Libra. This is the ruling planet. So it gave a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of extra luck in that way. For me, it was the perfect day. I was actually originally looking at Thursday being the day that I bought the car, but I ended up changing it to Monday because the astrology for my chart was just perfect at the exact moment I went in. It's very funny because a friend of mine, Angela, was pulling cards like on social media, in the stories. And I said, am I buying this car? And I wrote her on Saturday. And at the exact moment I was buying it, she pulled cards for me and got the High Priestess, which I thought was super funny because it was definitely intuitive in when I was buying it. Totally changed the plans, totally went with it, and everything worked out. I'm learning a lot too because this will be my goal is to make this a business expense on account of this is mainly used, if not 100% used, for my business, for traveling around town, for delivering things, for picking up supplies. Like today, I needed an envelope and I got to get in a beautiful car and go buy envelopes again. But if you are a CPA and you love astrology and you would like to look at the financials and help me in that direction, please email Elizabeth at themedicinalmelange.com. But in all sincerity, I do value people's time, and whether you want to trade or not, I would love if anyone has advice to email the exact same email address and let me know if you've done this. If you've written off a whole ass car before for your business, especially in LLC, please let me know how the process was for you. I would love to know. Owning a business, they don't teach you how to do that in school, though they should. And so, it's kind of like a learn as you go thing. So, anyway, I'm trying to learn as I go. Now, moving along to this week in astrology for this coming week. Honestly, the universe is doing the most in the most Libra Scorpio way possible. So we have the moon conjunct Venus in Libra. And honestly, I couldn't ask for a better transit for this Sunday as I'm at Deja Vu Esoterica in San Antonio. This is beautiful energy. I theme my Sundays as slow celestial Sundays, where you get to slow down, come in, enjoy just a moment of magic and reflection at Deja Vu Esoterica. And we just get to listen to awesome, yacht rock. All of my friends are working, so it's just a really nice, chill Sunday. But this is beautiful, relational, heart-centered energy for this transit. Libra is going to soften the sharp edges. Venus, though, reminds us that beauty and balance are going to be your medicine. And when the moon cozies up to Venus, it's a complete vibe. It is healing through harmony. If you are coming to see me for an in-person astrology reading, this is prime energy for connection and getting the most clarity. Everyone's intuitive energy is kind of honed in. And look, if you can't make it this Sunday, no big deal. But I will say this is your transiting sign, your sign from the universe to book your virtual astrology reading with me. We could do it while you're still in your jammies, so there's no fuss, no makeup, no judgment. But I only take a limited number each week, and this Venus conjunct the moon means that your heart and your chart is ready to be seen. Now, on the flip side, because the universe always loves a little balance, Mercury's moving and grooving. Mars has already been in Scorpio, but here comes Mercury moving and grooving very fast. Mercury is moving very, very fast. So this is going to be sharp tongue energy. For me, Scorpio falls in my third house with Pluto and Saturn natally. So I'll be on alert to not have a snappy comeback if someone comes at me sideways. But also, I know me, so maybe I will. And nothing wrong with a little sting now and then when you speak the truth. The moon, Venus, that's making things nice, but people are going to be quicker to react, quicker to assume the worst, quicker to just be straight up ugly, honestly. So just have that in your mind. But it's also important to remember that Scorpio doesn't get angry without reason. I mean, look, I have a Scorpio teenager, so I will say they mostly don't get mad without reason. But this conjunction, remember that means when the two planets are together, that's a conjunction. This conjunction is trying to move your whole ass truth throughout your whole ass body. So it's not just about winning arguments, it's the release of this suppressed emotion. This is so important and a theme I talked about in length. So this bonus episode is called Your Old Voice Can't Come With You. If you haven't done it yet, go back after this and listen to it. to get a little refresher. But my big astrological point for this week is if you catch yourself spiraling, just pause for a minute. Think and sit with the question of what is this reaction protecting me from? Because we want to look at what the fear is here. That's the theme within Scorpio, because that's how you alchemize this Mars in Scorpio with the overthinker of Mercury here. You're alchemizing that heat into your own transformation. Thankfully, as I mentioned earlier, our lovely Venus moon conjunction is working like aloe for the stars. It's going to be soothing what Mars and Mercury light on fire. You can have your feelings, but also let's just take a minute before we crash out in the group chat. Now, let's also not disregard the power of the new moon on October 21st, because this one feels like a soft power reset. New moons are about intention setting, but this one specifically opens a clean slate around emotional regulation, communication, the stories we tell ourselves about power and peace. This month is really weird. There's no new moon in Scorpio. So, to celebrate, and because you'll always ask when's the next one, I will be sending out a new link for my Pay What You Can astrology readings. If you haven't participated in my community offering yet, here's how it works. You're going to sign up through the link that I send out via email. So if you haven't signed up for my emails yet, this is a great time to head to themedicinalmelange.com. You'll have this big, beautiful pop-up that is purple, and it pops up within like a couple seconds. Put your email address there. And as a thank you, I give you a free breathwork guide, which if you are listening to this because you are either an Aquarius sun, moon, rising, or have a heavy stellium in Aquarius, or maybe you're like me and your 6th house is Aquarius, definitely download that guide because it's going to help you so much. But in the meantime, you'll give me your email address. I will email you out that link on the new moon. After you fill out the form, I do ask that you give me 7 to 10 business days to get back with a response. It typically is way sooner than that, but last time I had 50 people requesting readings, and it did take a few more days than I normally take to roll these out. So please be patient. I am not only running your birth chart and sitting with my guides and your guides, but I am also downloading that, uploading it onto a platform you can watch it at, and then sending you out that link. So there's lots of steps here as it pertains to video editing. I am a one-woman show. So please be patient. I do these as a community offering, but that means I'm also doing them in between my regular astrology readings that are done virtually and in person. And also I see Sun members during the week, so that takes up a lot of time too. And so yeah, I'm just over here trying to navigate and balance it all, and it would be so nice if we can just give me a pause, because I promise I'm moving as quick as possible. Now, to get into the nitty-gritty of Aquarius, again, this is for the Aquarius type. As we go with Aquarius's moments in the sun, I would like to mention that the sister sign, the opposite sign of Aquarius, is Leo. If your sun is in Aquarius, I hate to say it, the sun hates being in Aquarius. So definitely turn this shit up, sit down for a minute, try to turn off all the browsers that you got going on and the alarms, and just sit and listen to what I'm saying here. Aquarius is a fixed air sign that is ruled by both Saturn and Uranus. Saturn is the old school ruler, Uranus is more new school. So that's going to translate to Aquarians being like an architect of energy. This is channeling new systems, new ideas, new frequencies before they make sense to anybody else. Y'all are seeing it. You are like the lightning rod that brings ideas from the ethereal into the tangible. And from a medical astrology perspective, sometimes you're going to short circuit in the process. Aquarius really loves to feel free. They love a good hike, but get raging altitude sickness. They're the friend that sleeps with the window open at night to feel the fresh air on them. I love to go to an Aquarius friend's house because they just want to do things differently, and they'll eat like breakfast for dinner, which as an adult is my absolute favorite thing to do. I feel it's like, oh, look how different I've been. They let me indulge in breakfast for dinner. They never met a piece of metal that didn't shock them. When they're growing up, typically the Aquarian type has older friends or enjoy old people hobbies. They love their freedom, or at least the freedom to approach things in new ways. And if you look at where Aquarius is in your chart, that is where you do crave originality and innovation. Maybe because I have Jupiter in Aquarius in my sixth house. I have a lot of Aquarian traits, but also like within how I teach y'all as well, because the sixth house is our house of health, but it's also our daily rhythm. So if you're looking to integrate a new rhythm, a new way that you approach your daily schedule, your work schedule, how you show up as a worker, even that is all rooted in the six. So Aquarian types tend to overwork and forget to eat. Totally me. The Aquarian women typically have like weaker upper bodies, but really strong legs. Same. They are pretty androgynous, especially the women. And I mean, I feel like I'm more girly, but I fucking love menswear. I would dress like Annie Lennox 24/7 if I could, if I had the budget and a personal seamstress. Aquarian types do tend to isolate themselves and are the friend that knows almost anything about everything when you do kind of pick their brain. This can lead to the Aquarian types wondering how they fit in. I am very fortunate to be able to do readings for teens. I have clients that trust me and my background, especially because educationally I worked with teens for many, many, many years. They trust me to go in and sit with their teens and, help them find out what their passions could be and maybe help them explore more in those directions where they need more boundaries before they fly the coop, stuff like that. As I'm reading for them, I've noticed that a lot have North Node in Aquarius. So they came into this life knowing how to shine, how to get attention, how to be loved for what they do. But the growth, it's more about being loved for who they are. Aquarius energy is about authenticity and innovation and building a community. It's very much that I don't need to fit in to belong vibe. That is very Aquarian. I think that's why they're pushing so hard to be recognized for energy that we rarely experienced. A lot of it has to do with the Aquarian type's trait of being so imaginative, too. They have great imaginations, but sometimes that doesn't help their affinity for depressive symptoms as well. Now, if I'm trying to spot an Aquarian type in the wild, I will look for bigger foreheads because we have that Saturnian energy. Like the Capricorn type, these foreheads tend to be more flat. Mentally, if you envision Lincoln's face, you'll see Aquarius energy. It's very structured like our Capricorn types, but with a quirk of oddness. Where Capricorn kind of builds that structure of Saturn, Aquarius is electrifying it within Uranus. For the body, Aquarius rules over oxygenation of the blood, lower legs, specifically ankles, some rulership over the spine, the venous circulation with Venus. I mean, honestly, all circulation. Aquarius types also govern how blood and information flows. Rare or mysterious illness is very common for the Aquarian type too. When Aquarius is out of balance or maybe sitting in front of their screens too long, you might see poor circulation, cold extremities, very common in Aquarian types, numbness. As an Aquarius 6th house, the house of health, I have a full list in my notes app on my iPhone to tell them about. So that should be interesting. I'll keep y'all posted. Restless legs is also a thing within Aquarius types, anemia, cramps and spasms, even stiff muscles are pretty common too. Again, my 6th house, my true house of health is Aquarius, and I get the worst foot and like calf cramps at night. I got to walk it off for quite a long time, especially if I wear heels during the day. I always end up paying for it at night. Sudden heart palpitations from this nervous overdrive when they're triggered by transits. This heart palpitation or anxiety gains traction when the Aquarian type is overstimulated, especially with sounds. And I will tell you 1000% that is me. If it is too noisy, I immediately go into rage mode. Or if you're consuming too much blue light, that will immediately kill your vitality. Or as you burn out, as you work, oh my gosh, now I've overworked, you're going to have brain fog, burnout, headaches. For me, one of the tried and true Aquarian giveaways is the power outage, power surges, as I call them. I have a ton of energy to get shit done, but I sit in front of these blue lights to record. I have my computer screen. I have a laptop screen in front of me. I have my phone. I have my iPad sometimes. And I'm sitting here underneath these lights. And I'll tell you, the second I turn off these lights, my brain feels less inflamed. I feel less zapped, if that makes sense. The blue light comes in many forms. It's not just on my screens. However, I have learned that this is an issue for me. So in my house, I have all old-timey light bulbs. And I'm not necessarily sure I can explain what I mean when I say old-timey, but I'm saying they're not the blue light type of light bulbs. They're not LED lights there. I hopefully explained that correctly. If you're an electrician, just fucking move on. Pretend like I explained it correct. Because Aquarius is in my house of health, I feel like this affects me even more, or rather the medical astrology says that this will affect me even more. That was a step that I took to ensure that my vitality, my ability to feel my best and get the most enjoyment, to be able to work all day and then still enjoy my time away from work, I ended up changing all my light bulbs. Aquarius types are thriving with herbs that help regulate the nervous system, that support your circulation and harmonize your energy flow. My absolute favorite herb for Aquarian types is cleavers. Cleavers is going to boost the oxygenation within your blood system. It is a tonic, stimulating alternative herb. You can legit work with this plant in so many ways. It's a great herb to flush your kidneys and to tonify it. It also tightens and tones your skin as well. But back to my favorite part, as an alternative herb, it's perfect when your brain is buffering because it detoxifies the blood and the fluids in your body. And in doing so, it creates more room for oxygen in the body and the blood, which as an Aquarius type, you desperately need. Gotu kola is great because it's a calming adaptogenic that cools inflammation while sharpening your focus because it's a brain tonic herb as well. It'll help stress, inflame connective tissues, all that kind of decreases. And it's great for a signature Aquarian blue light fatigue scattered thoughts moment. It is very fucking salty. So if you ever eat Gotu kola fresh, I've seen it in the Houston area, but if you ever eat it fresh in a smoothie or something, it is so salty. And I think this is super fun because Aquarius is associated with cell salt sodium chloride, which is known as, drumroll, regular degular table salt, which is believed to support the circulatory system, which is also ruled by Aquarius. And yes, that's a lot of me saying which, but I'm helping you connect the dots that it's all kind of tied in here. If you've ever had Gatorade, you know that salty taste that I'm describing. This herb is so good for Aquarian types because it puts it back in the system. Rosemary, I feel like rosemary is often overlooked. It's going to help with memory and recall. It's an aromatic herb, so it's going to stimulate the circulation within the body. It's also helpful for headaches. I have here in my home apothecary an oil that I made that features rosemary. If you are an OG customer of mine, first of all, thank you. I appreciate it. But you know that I used to make a headache roll-on oil, and if Aquarian types didn't have such a hard time remembering shit, I would tell you the name that I named it. But I swear to God, I don't remember the name. I was writing this script, and even now as I'm filming it, I'm like, what is the name of that thing? However, my sixth house of health is Aquarius, and my memory is dog shit. If you're listening to this and you remember the name of the oil, I felt like it started with an S. And then I was like, well, no, maybe not. If you remember it, please put it in the comments. Or if you're like, damn, that sounds amazing because the astrology is only going to keep astrologizing, let me know in the comments or email me at elizabeth@themedicalmelange.com to bring it back for the holidays or something like that. Another great herb is going to be hawthorn. We want to support our heart with a cardiotonic herb that are also hypotensive. And honestly, hawthorn's your girl. I do have this herb in my Petraire tincture because it does give amazing circulatory support, and it's great for blood flow to all areas of the body, if you know what I mean. Plus, it's a heart protecting herb for not just the physical traits, but also that detached Aquarian who tries to forget that they have feelings sometimes. Now, when we're talking food, we want to remember that everything is frequency. Everything is frequency. There are so many ways to level up by just being aware of the frequencies around you. And so you don't need complicated diets as an Aquarian type. You need something that is going to regulate your conduction. Your meal should stabilize your circulation and your nerves while calming your nervous system without dimming that beautiful spark that you have. Electrolyte-rich foods, which we just mentioned the Gatorade, but also coconut water, celery, cucumber, regular sea salt. Any of this stuff is going to help increase this electrolytes within your body. Since we are talking a lot about circulation, we do want healthy blood. The blood quality needs to be enhanced. Sweet potatoes are my current favorite for helping the Aquarian blood quality issues because they are so thick in vitamin A. Also, in our Buddha bowls over the last couple weeks, we've had nuts. Pumpkin specifically is packed with nutrients like iron and folate and vitamin E. Leafy greens, garlic, turmeric helps with oxidative stress in the blood, so that's going to be great. I have to mention beets. Honestly, beets are only on here because it's undeniable how amazing they are for the blood and heart, but are not even close to being on the list of vegetables I would willingly consume. We have to take into consideration that Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is known as an electric planet, the other electric planet being Mercury. We do want nervous system nourishment within our food. If you think back to Gemini and Virgo, both of those signs are ruled by Mercury. There's a lot of nervous system. Yes, oats would be really good for starting your morning because it has a grounding effect on your morning. If you like lemon balm, great. Chamomile, lavender, including these things in teas or sweeteners even are really going to help soothe the nervous system in ways that you're not necessarily thinking about as far as herbal medicine goes. On that same tip, similar to oats, we do want grounding meals. We want root vegetables, miso broths, whole grains. We want it to come alive via the harvest, things that are grown in ground. We do want to avoid excessive caffeine, which totally fucking blew that one. Cold smoothies are not the jam for Aquarian types because y'all are already too cold when looking at the body constitution from a medical astrology perspective. We absolutely do not ever want to be skipping meals as Aquarian types. Your system needs warmth. It needs rhythm to keep the energy within you consistent. Get outside, take lunch even under the sunlight. The sun will counteract those blue lights that you've been absorbing in front of screens the whole time. Now, movements for Aquarius types, I really want to ground the frequency and the energy. Aquarius types thrive on movement that's going to activate, but also be still. You need rhythm to integrate into these workouts. The best movement styles would be something like trampoline workouts. I grew up doing rebounding drills. And again, I love that Aquarius 6 house shows up in the most fascinating ways, but both trampoline workouts, rebounding drills, jump rope, anything that has you moving and jumping, this is going to support your circulation quite a bit. Being so tall and having grown up playing basketball into college, do you know how many hours I spent doing rebounding drills? And apparently it was very good for me. So maybe I'll bring that back in. I don't know though. My boobs are too big now. And like jump and exercise, I want slow. Which brings me to my next suggested workout, which is Tai Chi. You know, that's good energy flowing, concentrated ways. But if we're going to do Tai Chi, why work hard in Tai Chi when we can slow it down even more in a true Aquarian way and enjoy Qigong? Qigong is absolutely my favorite because it honors my old lady lifestyle, or as I lovingly call it, my granny core aesthetic. I said earlier that Aquarian types typically have older friends when they're young, or like they'll be young and like old people love them. I feel like this kind of kicks back to this workout where it's slower, more intentional, and it's more about the energetic movement than the actual movement itself. If we're looking for other granny core ways that we can embody Aquarius workouts, walking meditation with intentional breathing is something that I feel like would be perfect for Aquarian types. However, as a Virgo rising, my brain hyperfixates and I feel so panicked. But the freedom loving Aquarian types can totally do this with ease. Weighted, grounded practices like kettlebells or slow squats. This is power into body movements in slow ways. Cold water plunges in moderation would actually be pretty cool for the Aquarian type because you want to reset that nervous system and promote the circulation. Again, y'all are too cold in general, but exposure to cold water specifically constricts the blood vessels and that improves circulation within the Aquarian types. It also is going to reduce inflammation, boost the immune system, which never hurt for Aquarian types because they get those weird medical mysteries. And it also elevates your mood, which does help with an Aquarian mental health. Think of like working out purposefully. You're moving to discharge old data within your body and refresh that signal so new ideas come in with a breath of fresh air. Today, I am going to pull our final reflection for the day from the Love Who You Are deck. I got this deck at the Stinking Rose in San Antonio quite a while back, I feel like, but it is one that I don't use often, but always fucking lands. And I feel like the Aquarian types are just so busy trying to figure out where they stand that it's very important to remember who the fuck you are. So before I pull, I do want to take this moment to remind y'all that this Saturday I will be at Silver Moon Curios in Georgetown, Texas, from 11 to about 4 o'clock this week. I love a pre-book. It lets me know who's coming when and helps me spend extra time with your chart. But I also love a good walk-in. Nothing is better than getting the instant download messages while we're reading together. Either way, whether you pre-book or just happen to be a last-minute walk-in, know that I am so grateful to meet so many new faces, hear new stories. I know I've met a lot of clients up there that actually are traveling from out of state, but stop by to see Silver Moon Curios, because if you have not been, it's just the most beautiful building. Inside, they have different practitioners there on site to do energy work. They have a masseuse on location whenever the stores open. So it's actually a really nice day to like go shopping and get a massage. Totally recommend Carla for that and any sort of energy work. But then also you have me in the reading room, and we have this beautiful private room where we can just sit with the thoughts. Again, Pluto went direct, so we are starting to have big time conversations around transformation. And I will tell you, you are going to be transforming no matter what. We just need to look at what area of your chart it's in and what it's aspecting. And guess what? I know a great astrologer to help you with that. Duh, me. So go ahead and head to themedicinalmelange.com, click on astrology readings, and then you're going to want to click in person, because we will be meeting face to face in person from 11 to 4 on Saturday the 18th. Now, if you do not live in Austin or north of Austin, you can join me every Sunday at Deja Vu Esoterica in San Antonio, where I am a resident reader. I am there every week. If you are feeling called to get a reading, definitely pre-book with me and come see me this weekend, because I have the information to share with you, I assure you. So this week's card and reflection that we're going to look at is card 15. Card 15 is very funny because it has this beautiful bird on the card, and it's wearing a party hat. And the theme is wear your party hat. Life's too short. Buy the shoes, eat the cookie, take the vacation, risk the adventure. Paint your living room purple, wear your party hat. Don't be afraid of what people will think. They aren't living your life. You get to decide what your bravery looks like, what your fun and fabulous and free look like. You're being asked right now to disregard the attention and approval of others and go for it, even if it feels ridiculous or over the top. You get to be as extra as you want to be. Your life is an occasion, so rise to it. I absolutely love this message, and I want to send gratitude to my family that I channel with, because this is just the most appropriate Aquarian card. I mean, first of all, the bird is wearing a goddamn party hat, okay? And if that's not just the most Aquarian theme, Aquarians are different. Like I said when I was explaining their facial features, you have Uranus in there, and Uranus is like, fuck you, I'm going to do it my way. And this is absolutely the card to remind us that. Saturn teaches us embodiment, discipline, energy containment. But Uranus teaches us liberation and authenticity and higher frequency living. When Saturn is honored, your energy is consistent. Your ideas are going to land. When Uranus is honored, your genius feels free to move through you. You're not going to control it. And that is what it means to put on your party hat. Together, they remind you that the brilliance is in how you approach life if you're an Aquarian type. As we sit with this kind of final moment and this final card, I do want you to ask yourself if you're managing your own energy like you do when you're checking your cell phone battery. Do you let it run until the battery dies, or can we maintain it a little bit more closely? And remember, when we're maintaining it, it's just so that way we have those moments to wear our party hat and we're not completely fucking fatigued. That is the Aquarian download here. All right, y'all, that is it for today. Tag me in your rituals. You enjoyed your digital detox day. Great, I want to hear about it. Maybe you started working with my Alice or tincture. Please, please, please send me a DM or email telling me what you thought. Or better yet, you can leave a Google review. Goodness gracious, I need to be saying that more often. So definitely a Google review is always appreciated. Or just shoot me an email explaining how stoked you were that you finally stopped apologizing for wearing your party hat or for needing space to recharge. All right, y'all, see you next time.